Welcome to Cheechable LIVN. I'm your host Cheech, and today we're going to get into growing. We're going to visit Sauvie Island here in Portland, which is a really special and magical island where Royal Ambrosia is growing outdoor cannabis. And then later we'll go over to Wapato Island Farms where they're cultivating sacred earth medicine and a beautiful community of healers. So join us as we go and visit growing Portland.
A bridge back in time, say 150 years, and you'll find a world of tradition now lost on so many. A whole population that stewarded this land before it was taken from them. Historians say Chinook Indians, specifically the Multnomah tribe, were the first people to live here on this island. White explorers began arriving here in the early 1800s. Not long after that, the native population suffered from multiple deadly outbreaks, including smallpox. Within 2 years, they were nearly extinct. Around that time, the Hudson Bay Company sent a French Canadian to the island to start a dairy. His name, Laurent Sauvie. The name stuck on both the island and this bridge.
From this island and the bridge that are both named after a colonizer that did not respect the land or the people. I would say that upholding that name is similar to Christopher Columbus.
Welcome to Cheechable LIVN. I'm your host Cheech, and we're here on Uncle John's farm out on Sauvie Island today with Dale and Jason. Thank you so much for having us. Tell us a bit about this area and kind of what brought you here and how we all got here today.
Yeah, no problem. So this farm has been here for quite a while. Obviously, the owner, Uncle John's, been here since '63. We started growing rec cannabis here in 2016, so we've seen the whole gamut of the ins and outs of the recreational market and how to navigate through that. So it's been quite a ride, yes, indeed.
I'm just really in love with Uncle John, the farm, and being out here with Dale. It's quite the opportunity we've been given. 967 acres, and just one or two of them he's been able to turn into, the best vibration that I've ever felt. And that's being out here with these plants every day, waking up, being motivated by the plant to come and wake up and be with them and grow with them is pretty amazing.
You can really tell. So speaking of that vibration or that energy, we at Cheechable LIVN, we connect with grows all over the state, and you can just tell certain grows have a really special, unique quality. Dale, tell us about your background and how did you get to cultivate this really amazing energy?
Totally. So yeah, originally I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm born and raised, and I've been a medical patient since 2000, and just kind of been there since day one, since legalization in Oregon. And Paul Stanford, which I'd like to give a shout out to him. He's been a good mentor and friend of mine, and he's been a good guy that puts on the Hemp Fest, Northwest Hemp Fest and whatnot. So I've, been friends with him forever and was in the medical fighting the good fight. Everything switched over to recreational, so we kind of navigated towards that with Uncle John's blessing. And yeah, we just been in the game and just been crushing it since and been happy to be in the game.
Yep, and Uncle John, he's been out here since, about 1963? You were saying back, Bugsy Siegel, I guess, was thinking about settling down in this area, but just too much rain for him. He was looking for a new Vegas. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, legend says that Uncle John may or may not have won this in a card game. And then Bugsy went off and built Vegas where it is now.
Portland could have been Vegas, but we ended up with a beautiful island instead.
Awesome, yeah. Cheers to that, for sure.
Yeah, so
Dale being just one of 2 grows out here on the island, so really taking advantage of the sun and the diversity out here with the wildlife, and I guess it's just mountains and vibes that you're feeling. What drives you to be out here every day?
Just the area, the community is very nice, and they're open arms. Everybody, there's not really no cannabis haters out here or nothing like that. So the vibe's been cool and it's been real. So yeah,
It's nice to take it from the corn crop that's behind you here and upgrade the crop into something that people think of as medicine, kind of bring a new vibration to the land.
Absolutely.
I think everyone appreciates it, including Uncle John all the way down to myself.
For sure.
And the little bugs in the soil that you've been supporting as well.
right.
and the plants, these beautiful, beautiful plants. I wish you could feel the actual vibrations in this field right now, because even just stepping a few yards outside, the energy shifts so dramatically once you're inside these plants. Tell us, what are you growing? What strains are you growing right now? And when are you looking to harvest?
We're looking to harvest right before like mid-September. And the strain list is pretty deep. I won't go through all of them, but there's over 40 strains here. So yeah, we got quite the diversity to, fill everybody's needs in the market. So yeah, it's a vast variety, and we strive to do that and give the people what they want for the most part.
Amazing. Are there any favorite or classic strains that you can't live without and that always make an appearance?
Yes, that's a good question. Well, I got an old school train wreck out here and some old Granddaddy purple from the old school. So those are a couple. The Granddaddy, it's a mess to trim up and whatnot. But yeah, so we got a few of the old
What
schools.
are a couple of the newer ones that people are going to see on the shelves come October, do you think?
Wow, there's quite a few. There's a bunch of hash maker ones, that dump a lot of hash for that. Usually that's what I like to smoke, medicinally and, recreationally. But there's a bunch of those ones, like the Divine Banana. It's a good one for that one. There's quite the variety out here, though. It's hard to pin down just one. But I'm looking forward to Purple Gas Mask, though. That's one of the ones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's a cross of... It's a cross of, what is that one? Sherbert times Gas Face #1. Yeah, so that's a newer one that just came on the farm. So
That's exciting. That just sounds loud.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. What about you, Jason? Do you have any favorites or standouts?
I really like the purple strains, and they seem exotic to me. They help my appetite quite a bit. They're tasty, and they keep me coming back. And at a low level, kind of low and slow on a medical trip throughout the day, maybe a siesta halfway through.
Yeah.
And so anything this guy grows, I can trust. That's the other thing, is I just usually come to him as my shaman of my medicine, and he knows exactly what I need. So that's why I support him, and I know he's going to do well every year. And even in learning from everything we've learned, some of the things we've learned is to kind of move from the end, so the finish line, and then head towards the start, if that makes sense. Being who are you growing for? Where, what patients are you supporting with this?
Yep.
Where is it going to end up? And have you made those relationships, or do you have an end game in mind? I think that's one of the important things to plan coming into an operation this large, because these plants, as you can see, are taller than us, and they're hungry.
Right.
They're very hungry, and they don't just need water and sunshine. They need food, plant food, and he knows what to give them. And that's when it's really important to build that network and community of, who makes the plant food. And I personally drove down south to get a custom blend of soil that he had built for these plants. So that, that type of reach down, and then that type of support from someone local is. And who was that we were working with on that last run?
Well, Pure Vita was a good one that supported us. John Goodman, he's a very good outfit. There's quite a few operations that lent us their hand.
The Oregon soil, custom soil.
Oh yeah, that's a a Pro-Grow soil mix, yeah.
Yeah, Pro-Grow soil mix. They'll mix, they have certain blends and they'll lock yours in for you. They'll come and test your soil, I'm sure, and
Absolutely.
and match it up to what it needs. And speaking of vibrations, that's why we're using the handheld mic right now, because there's so much energy in here that we weren't able to use the wireless mic. So I
Yeah.
think that was a beautiful testament to to the electronics and the energy of the field here.
I just really applaud your process and your presence within this community. We are so fortunate to be able to connect with a grow like this, and I just want to know. So I know I met you through Royal Ambrosia. Are there any other products or things that people can look out for coming up or out in the world?
Uncle John's Farms, that's something that remains solid throughout all of the changes that we've been through. He's always been here for us. So Dale Merritt and Uncle John, those are two that we could definitely support in the future, and always know that love is going to be reciprocated when we give.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for having us again. And I'm really just looking forward to keeping track of, the progress of this season. And, hope we can come back in the fall and check out some big old flowers.
Absolutely. We definitely extend your welcome to come out for the farm update, because, that's when the magic will really be rocking. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's when the terpene profiles come out, and it's a whole nother area out here. Yeah.
Amazing.
The
So
energy will
beautiful.
actually be floating at that point. You can smell it in the air.
Oh, wow. Well, we're looking forward to levitating.
On an ending note, I'd like to give a special thanks to the crew that helped us out here. It takes a village, like I brought up earlier. It takes a lot of people, a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work to run these 2 acres. So I just, from the bottom of my heart, big ups to the crew. They know who they are. And big ups to Uncle John, Cheechables, and all the peeps that came out. And I want to give blessings to the island and to the plants and to everyone. Thanks for coming out today. And you can also follow us on Royal Ambrosia on Instagram. And we're also on Instagram at Sticky Icky PDX. So please give us a follow. You can see the upcoming drops and what stores we're available in. But everyone out there, keep fighting the good fight.
Cheech and crew set out to explore the mystery of the Sauvie Island UFO. Is it a vehicle for interdimensional travel, or just a portal to a good time? We may never know.
November is Native American Heritage Month, and Multnomah County is honoring the Native American community here in our area. Today, the Multnomah County Commissioners approved the renaming of the Sauvie Island Bridge to Wapato Bridge. Wapato is a tuber or potato that grow in shallow ponds or sloughs and was gathered on Sauvie Island. The renaming comes a year after the county commissioners convened a bridge renaming council to come up with a name to honor Native American people. A member of the Bridge Council and a tribal member spoke to us about why this is so significant.
I think it's important to remember the first inhabitants of these lands and our places and ties to these historical places. And so every time they drive across, they'll remember that the indigenous people are still here and we're still practicing.
This marks the county's first formal consultation process with tribal governments.
Hey, this is Cheechable LIVN, and I'm your host, Cheech. I'm here with Jenny from Wapato Island Farms out here on Sauvie Island. Hi, Jenny. Thank you so much for having us here. I'm curious if you can tell us about your background and how you got to this beautiful land and what you're doing here on the farm.
Wow, okay, that's a lot. Well, my background, I guess I need to start with my granny, my abuelita. She was the matriarch of our family, and when I was little, she, she was a medicine woman, a yerba, not quite a curandera because of life circumstances, but she listened to the plants, and she saw not with these eyes, and maybe she saw something in me and my primas, my cousins and whatnot, but for me, she cultivated something in me, and that was like the beings matter, whether they're two-legged or not. And so that's always been an inspiration for my whole life, and modeled by someone who really cared for not just herself, but her whole family and community. And I just felt so honored to be able to witness that and to be related by blood to someone like that. And I never knew that I would be able to tend land like this. We've been here almost 20 years now.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And so just a little bit of backstory of like how we ended up here was I was in labor with my third. I have 4 babies. And my mama and papa were making beans in the kitchen, and then it was like time, and so my dad hadn't come with the others to see them being born, and he came, watched, and just crying. It was like, okay, we have to be close to the grandchildren. So 3 days later, he's like driving around, he's like, have you ever heard of this island? I was like, yes, but there's no way, we could manage to live out there. And so there were these people that had been on the market a long time, kiddos were trying to sell it, parents had passed, and they were like, we're done, So they're like, you have to buy both pieces of land at once. And then my dad gave them a lowball offer, and they accepted. And so it was so we were like, there's no good reason for us to be out here. There's no good reason that I should be able to now be like, someone who tends so much land on this beautiful island, but the land wanted me here. And so, they're like, don't be greedy, lady, be generous, share, listen to us. Don't be like so many annoying humans. And I still am an annoying human, but like taking over and dominating everything. But listen to us, respect us. And we think of, we try to be a good host, a sacred hospitality for all beings. And that's what's really important to us. Like, we all matter, When I first moved here, there were just so many initiations that I had to go through and I'm sure there's so many more. But one of them was like, I didn't realize that these mountains back here, that they're the parents, the generous parents of where I was standing. Like, I just didn't think about that they gave their children to us, so we could stand here. And that was like a real big aha moment, and then learning more and more and being able to weave more and more about the Multnomah folks who were here and their stories, and perhaps like where they held ceremony, and then maybe where they had some celebration. And I think, since I've been here and I've been able to meet so many different parts of the land, then I've been able to, figure some of that out. But just this land here, we have a man-made pond, actually. And there's lots of ponds on the island, and just hearing them speak to each other. And, I don't know, everybody thinks differently, but I really think of this island as like a portal. It's like the birds visit us, and they bring messages. They take our prayers. They take, different, like, parts of our hearts, ways to listen and ways to send. And so I think this whole island is that, we've been tending this land hopefully in a good way, for 20 years, and that's just scratching the surface, but it does. It's like we've developed a friendship, and she's precious to us, and we love her so much. And I think that other people, maybe, like you were sharing, they feel that. Yeah.
How does your farm go through the seasons, and what are you cultivating at the moment? And how do people kind of play a part in that, in the community, the larger community?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Well, I would say that we do our best, and I'm gonna say that we try to follow indigenous practices with tending the land. And that means a lot of things, but to me it's like, well, what wants to grow here? What will thrive? And this land is about 32 acres, and there's so many different ways that we tend. So I'm not like eyes on like, every plant. Like, so what grows well here, there's like a practicality, of how we grow and what we grow. Like if you need too much water, then maybe this isn't the place for you, you know. So we try to work with natives. You know, if you're a plant that like you're not from here and you attract a lot of bugs, then maybe we're not gonna, we won't be able to work with you, because we need to like have plants that can kind of take care of themselves. And I tell you, like, especially this garden over here, which is about, I don't know, 15, 16 years old, that garden is like, leave me alone. You know, they're like, we have our systems in place. Just let us do our thing how we want. We hardly water that garden now. We receive so much medicine from it. But to answer your question, for us, it's really important to start with seed saving. So at the end of the year, we're collecting seeds, then we save them, and then we start them and take care of them like our little babies, you know, and then plant them. And so we're part of that cycle, you know, and we're working with the land and not just like, I don't know, trying to extract, but really remembering that it's like, you know, we all need each other. And so to be in appreciation and to honor. And one thing that was really important was an elder told me, you know, you have all this land. Like, where's the space where humans aren't allowed? And I was like, oh. And he's like, you need a space where there's no humans. And so I was like, okay. So about 7 years ago, we have about a 3-acre space in the back over there, and no humans are allowed to go there. And it changed the diversity. So many more birds, more deer, more pollinators, more snakes. Just, it's like, yeah, we just need a little place to just be us. And it's amazing. And it took me a long time to figure it out. An elder had to tell me. So, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your practice and how that works with everything that you're cultivating.
Yeah. Well, it feels really special to be working with medicine that I've had relationship with, you know, and like everybody has to start somewhere. And so if you're ordering herbs from another place, then that's what you have to do, you know. But it's a different type of medicine to be able to really listen and ask the plants for consent. Like, is it okay that we harvest you? And sometimes they say no, you know. And so if a plant is saying, no, don't harvest me, but they still get harvested, you know, that's a different type of medicine. And so the fact that we get to be, you know, we have that honor of being in tune to the best of our abilities. Like, I have to say, we are definitely not perfect. And there are times that I come in and I'm so, like, you know, not paying attention and not thinking, and, you know, for sure. But for the most part, it's like, is my heart in a good place, you know? Am I able to go into that space where I can harvest and really listen and pay attention? And then, you know, yes, sometimes. And then we get to make really beautiful medicine out of that. Share that with the community. I offer limpias. Like today I had a limpia. And the medicines that I get to use to support and be in ceremony with that person is all from here, you know. And that makes me, I feel really good about that practice. And we get to invite people here for other different rituals or ceremonies, and people also have their own personal shrines from different lineages, you know, and that's really important to me too, you know, that people get to find their way here, because I'm a guest here. This is not my, you know, this land does not belong to me. I'm a guest, and I'm someone that he gets to tend, or, you know, sometimes be a guardian to this space. And so having other people is like, we need that. We, you know, bringing in their ancestral lines, you know, their culture, their seeds, their stories is so important, you know, to me and to a lot of the people that share this land with me. So.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of your offerings that you have available, and how people can reach you and connect with that?
Thank you. Yeah, we have a botanica, and you're welcome to look at it if you want. But yeah, it has so many beautiful medicines. I guess, like, is it okay to share 3? Yeah, I would say that one of the tinctures that I just feel is so right now in this time is so good for folks. It's called Cora Clara, and that means clear heart. And it's just a mover, you know, and it just helps us to remember that like who we are matters and who others matter, but it also cleans our blood. You know, it really it's a blood cleaner too. I love to make smoked salts, and it takes me about a week to make them, and I get to just collect lots of mushrooms that we either grow or that I harvest, and herbs, and I make like a really strong decoction or like a really strong tea, and then I pour that onto the salts, and then I put it in our wood fire oven, and I just start fires, let them go out, start fires, let them go out, so that slowly the moisture in the water starts to evaporate, but all the medicine stays intact, all the volatile oils, all, you know, the good medicine stays in. And it's a food that you can use it as a finishing salt, so you can put it on people's food. I put it in my kids' drinks all the time, you know, for like electrolytes, or they call it healthy Gatorade. But I feel so grateful to be able to get medicine into people's bodies in a real easy, practical way. And that's that. The other thing I love to make is agua de Florida, which is like flower water. And so I get to work with flowers that grow here. So it's like sort of like a Wapato Island like blend, you know, that's true to here. And it takes me about a year to make. And it's good for protection if you're going out, you know, if you're going to be in ceremony, you're going to be in a crowd, or you're like, I want to connect, you know, with my ancestors, or I want to connect with beings, you know, then it's a very powerful medicine to get there, and it's, you know, topical, and it smells so good.
I can definitely say that I've had your salts, and they are so special. And yeah, again, it's one of those things that you're cultivating a true extension of this land, and just, you know, your intentions and the hospitality just follows through even the salts.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us where people can connect with you, and you know, if you have anybody to thank, or you want to tell us a little bit about who supports you here, and shout out.
Yeah, oh my gosh, so many. Well, I have to say, like, we have volunteers, and they're so amazing. They come out at least once a week, and there's no way that we could be where we are at this point without their support, and our botanica would not look like it does, because everything is hand-picked, you know, and then most things we dry in the sun. We do a little bit of with the dehydrator, but if we can get the energy from the sun, then that's what we will do. So many hands, you know. And Dana Vargas and Cori Clara are our other teachers, amongst, you know, we'll invite other people to come in too, but they'll be kind of like our regular, and, you know, teacher's not the right word, but they share their skills as well. Let's see, we are on Instagram, Wapato Island Farm, and we have a website, wapatoislandfarm.com, and yeah, as far as I'm trying to just, like, there's so many amazing people that I don't know if they'd want me to share their names, but Seven Waters Canoe Journey family was carving canoe here, and that was really, you know, special to have that happen here, and that work be done. And Monique Lopez is also someone who's just always showing up, you know, continually, bringing her medicine of just kindness, you know. So yeah. Thank you
So much. I love that too, and I think that's something that we can definitely have a reminder, is that your own kindness is also healing and nurturing. Thank you for your kindness and welcoming us here. Any parting words for our audience?
You know, I just feel like the elders remind me of, like, you know, how would you treat someone you really care about? You know, you wouldn't harm them, you would tend to them, and that's how we need to treat this land that we get to be on. And where we live it's really important to give back to the land where you live. So Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you.
Wow. And then we were flying through space, and there was almost no time in space time continuum. Then we went to the outer of space,